This is the story of a woman who wants to fly like a bird, to soar like a condor. The Andean condor lives in a place of astonishing beauty, but also dangerous air currents. Flying here requires great skill. It's the ultimate challenge for a world champion hang gliding pilot. She's pitting herself against an extraordinary animal, a supreme glider. Her journey won't be easy. In Condor country, just getting airborne is hard enough. But it's the opportunity of a lifetime to take to the air and fly with condors. Patagonia, stronghold of the Andean condor, and a long way from home for a British hang gliding team from Derby.
And poor old Uncle Fred, he spent 18 months in
Judy Ledden is a world champion hang gliding pilot. She and her husband Chris are in the wilds of Patagonia to realize a lifelong dream, to fly with another champion glider, the Condor.
Being a cowboy in Rochdale, girls people laugh when I ride past an our old station door. Yeah.
Judy has 5 weeks to achieve her goal. To stand any chance, she'll need expert help. Argentinian ornithologist Lorenzo Simpson is a world authority on South America's condors.
Hi, Judy. How are you?
How nice to see you.
Good flight here?
Very good,
Hi,
thanks.
Chris. How are you? Huh?
Good, yeah.
Oh, what's this? It's like England.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's cold, windy.
Well, we're
wet.
expecting a bit of snow now.
Are you?
The Andes are spectacular but treacherous mountains, with some of the most unpredictable weather in the world. These strong winds make life difficult for guanacos, and even the sure-footed puma. The one resident thrives here, the Andean condor, the world's largest flying bird. Lorenzo shares Judy's fascination for these huge birds. For him, the condor epitomizes the freedom and wildness of Patagonia. The condor is the ultimate low-energy flyer. With a wingspan over 3 meters, it can spend most of its day effortlessly riding the air currents before descending to roost. You can spot the females by their red eyes, while the males have brown eyes, plus a big, fleshy head crest.
My wife even wonders why I study such an ugly-looking bird. But the thing is, once it takes to the air, is just absolutely magnificent. I mean, condors really, I think, are one of the world's best flyers.
They may be good flyers, but that also makes them difficult to follow.
There's so much information we can get on the ground, and then we just lose them. I mean, they just fly over the hill, and we've lost them. We've tried to have helicopters, we've tried to have planes, and all really to no avail.
Lorenzo hopes that Judy's silent hang glider can follow condors for the first time.
I've always wanted to fly like a bird. That's why I started hang gliding. And so to have the opportunity of flying wingtip to wingtip and being accepted by them in their environment is my dream.
Judy's been flying for over 20 years. If anyone can keep up with the condors, it's her. Their first stop is Lorenzo's research hut at Britreres in the Andean foothills, right in the heart of Condor country. These cliffs are a famous roost site. In fact, the name Brutreras means place where the condors meet. But these sheer cliffs give Judy the jitters. Remarkably, for a pilot, she's afraid of heights.
I do have a fear of heights, and I can imagine having a fair bit of vertigo on the edge. But once I'm in the air, I'll be all right.
Once a daredevil in the sky, Judy now has 2 kids and is more cautious about leaping off cliffs.
There is an element of danger, but there's an element of danger in lots of things we do, driving cars and all sorts. I'm not reckless. I don't have a death wish. It's, in fact, the opposite. I love this sport. I love to fly. It's a life-enhancing experience.
Judy's apprehensive before her first flight. This maiden flight will test the air currents, as well as her nerves.
I'm not going to take off if I think I'm going to die.
It makes it look so easy, just steps off into space. Control all the way. Yeah, it's nice.
At last, Judy can see Brutreras as a condor sees it. But today, all the condors have vanished. On her first flight, Judy attracts the attention of a black-chested buzzard eagle.
I don't know if he's looking for food or... Oh, it's taken off. Let's come for a closer look. That's it, mate. A little bit closer. There we go. Isn't that nice? And quite friendly.
The buzzard eagle is a highly territorial bird. It even chases condors, so naturally it wants to check out this giant in its territory. The eagle soon realizes that this giant of the skies is too big for it to tackle. It makes a quick exit. Judy's first flight is exhilarating but far too short. The problem is with the fine weather. Not enough lift to support her glider. What she needs are some strong, uplifting thermals. A thermal is a bubble of warm air rising up through the sky. Because warm air is lighter than cold air, it naturally rises. This provides the lift which is so essential to both hang gliders and condors. On a good flying day, the presence of puffy clouds in the sky indicates rising thermals. But today, a strong high-pressure system is creating a layer of warm air that acts like a ceiling above which the thermals and gliders cannot rise. With the weather too poor to fly, Lorenzo has a surprise to show them. A condor chick, so high up on a cliff ledge that only an experienced climber like Lorenzo's son can reach it. The team have an amazing view of the developing chick, thanks to a remote camera. The chick will stay on this ledge, safe from predators, for 8 months. Not far away, they can monitor the chick's activities.
Wow, that's fantastic.
This chick is 2 months old.
I have to say, he's pretty ugly.
You can see every detail of the feathers and the down.
You can, and he's
Do
watching.
you see the size of his feet? Look at this huge,
aren't
they look like an ostrich's or South American rare's feet. I mean, they're just huge.
Does he get fed every day, or is it just...
Oh, almost every day, yes. Unless there's a big storm outside or something like that. But it's not that. And they take turns. One day it'll be the female and another the male.
Condors mate for life and are devoted, though mostly absent, parents. This time, it's the male's turn to feed the chick.
Oh, he's probably just looking around, making sure there's nobody around there.
The youngster's flapping away.
There he goes. You see that pumping action?
Mm.
The baby's put his bill inside the male's, and he's just pumping the gruel down his throat. But this is a very, very rare sighting, I'll tell you. You were saying that the baby looked big, and then you look at it beside the adult male, and it's just insignificant.
The chick's only contact with its parents lasts for just 3 minutes a day. This chick will continue to be fed for another 6 months. Then it'll spend another year with its parents, learning how to fly in Patagonia's challenging landscape and developing a mental map of the area. That's something Judy has to learn in just a few weeks. The weather still isn't right for gliding, but she's eager to get back up in the air.
Pointing into wind.
Relief?
She won't really know what the air currents are like until she's up in the sky. Soon after takeoff, she hits problems.
Because it's freaking rough here, I don't really want to land. I'm going to try and get over this hill and land in smoother.
What, where the green patch is?
Yeah, that's what I really tried, I don't know if I'll make it.
There's no lift. She needs to find a safe place to land, and soon. This is dangerous, and even worse, there are power lines in her path.
Judy, Chris. Judy, Chris. Hugo, vamos. Judy, Chris. Whoa.
She's had a bad landing.
No, looking around, it's not the best.
Sounds a bit of cables off the front.
Right.
We just hit some really awful air.
The glider's in bad shape.
So just as I was coming in, I hit just a big gust of wind. The left wing dropped, and it just spun into the left. It didn't spin. It hit left wingtip first. So what you do in that case is make like a baby, curl up, and my body swung through the right upright.
With the power lines only meters away, the accident could have been far worse. The glider can be repaired. Judy seems okay, but all is not well.
Yeah, I can see it is. Okay, I'll sort that out.
Her wrist is swelling rapidly.
Judy's wrist's actually worse than she will ever let on. I mean, I've known her to fly in competitions with broken wrists and carry on. She's quite determined in that way, but I'm just watching her now. She's not lifting things very well. I'll strap up her arm, but at the moment I'm not holding out great stakes for it. Implications are of that. I can repair the glider, but she might not be able to fly it.
Judy's dream lies in tatters. Her wrist is broken. Her only hope is that with a few days' rest and some heavy strapping, she might be able to fly again. A storm is raging in the Andes, 50 kilometers to the west. It sweeps down to Butreres, and on the wind come the Condors, dozens of them. Butreres shows its real value as a shelter in a storm. They can maneuver with exquisite precision to bring themselves into land. The Condor's most impressive feature is its great wingspan, which stretches 3 meters. This combination of strength and design gives the Condor total mastery of the air. Even when taking off, they need hardly ever flap their wings. This is the ultimate in energy-efficient flight. Lorenzo's discovered that condors are highly social birds. They congregate in large numbers at favorite roosting sites.
And that little outcrop that the juvenile is on now, that's a sort of prime roosting site. I mean, we've had over 120 birds on this roost site here.
Really?
But whenever anybody comes, like we have now, a few birds, they all try and choose this little outcrop.
The older birds use impressive wing displays to intimidate the juveniles. Adult males are larger than females, but a large female can also throw her weight around.
So who gets the best roosting site? Is it the dominant male or the dominant female?
No, dominant male.
Dominant male.
Yeah, luckily.
I'm saying nothing.
The condors will wait out the bad weather snug in their roosts. The reason for their choice of roost site becomes clear in the morning. The cliffs face eastward. The rising sun floods them with warmth. This is where the thermals first develop, so the birds can just step off their perch when the time is right. To save energy during cold evenings, condors can drop their body temperatures. So the morning sun is crucial to help them get back to normal before they can attempt to fly. By 10 a.m., the thermals are ruffling their feathers. It's almost time to fly. First, a good stretch to prepare the wings for the day's journey. And then they're off. Adult condors have distinctive black and white wings. These markings stand out against the sky and perhaps help them communicate over long distances. By watching each other, the condors can find the best thermals. It's also possible that the markings allow the condors to spot each other when they find food. By contrast, the juvenile condors are a uniform brown and only get their flying stripes when they mature at 8 years. Lorenzo believes that adult birds may actually teach less skillful juveniles how to navigate through the skies, with their markings leading the way. Condors are scavengers, and each day may travel over 200 kilometers out onto the grassy plains, scanning the steppe for carrion. Guanacos were once their main source of food, But with the coming of the ranchers, they were replaced by sheep. Millions of them. Fortunately for condors, sheep on the wild steppe fly naturally in large numbers. But sheep are also killed by predators, and the gaucho shepherds are at war with anything that endangers their livelihood. Many predators like puma and foxes, and even scavengers like condors and caracaras, have been killed by poison-laced carrion. The future of predators and condors is now closely tied to the management of the sheep. The condors are not usually the first scavengers on a meal. The fox is the biggest killer of sheep and takes first place at the table. This activity is a clear signal to far-off condors. They let other scavengers eat first. They prefer to wait and make sure there's no danger. Condors are vulnerable to predators on the ground. They weigh 15 kilograms and cannot take off easily after a heavy meal. So they prefer feeding sites on hillsides with convenient takeoff spots. And if conditions for takeoff aren't right, they won't come down at all. It's only when the condor is beside other birds like the caracara that you can see what a giant it really is. The biggest birds will eat first, although smaller animals like the caracara will steal a bite whenever possible. The condor's wing displays are a form of ritualized aggression to prevent real fights and injury to their precious flight feathers. A condor can add 2 kilos to its weight in one feeding, so getting back up in the air can be a struggle. By late afternoon, the birds are on their way back to their mountain roosts. With most of the condor's feeding grounds now converted to sheep farms, the bird survival is very much in the hands of ranchers. Lorenzo spares no effort in promoting condor conservation. Tonight, the team are on their way to an asado with the local gauchos. It's a relaxed barbecue, Patagonian style, and Lorenzo's preferred way to promote condors. His approach is working. Local farmers no longer kill them, and they're developing alternative ways to control the predators. It's week 3 of the expedition, and Judy is still grounded by injury and poor flying conditions. The condors of Butrerus tempt Judy to try another flight, but her broken wrist is too weak to control the glider on takeoff. Judy's not one to give up easily. There is another way to get a glider airborne. Determined to get back into the sky, she's rigged up a takeoff trolley to help take the stress off her arm. And she's called in help from the local flying club. Not even Chris can stop her now.
If I said to Judy, you should rest up now, my darling, and not be flying, I might as well just throw dust into the wind. And actually, if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to be stopping her from doing what she wants to do. So why? You know, it achieves nothing.
Since the accident, Judy's been on painkillers.
Yesterday I let the ibuprofen levels drop down and it was quite sore. So I've dosed myself up again today and it's fine. It'll do the job.
For the bar, good. Release in the right place. All I can do is try and support her in what she needs to do and make sure that I can adjust things to make it as comfortable or as possible for it to happen.
If this flight doesn't work,
Okay, all out!
they'll have to rethink the entire expedition. Takeoff is successful. The next crucial stage will come when Judy detaches the glider from the microlight. Not only will her wrist need to hold out, she'll have to find a thermal quickly to keep her in the air. She releases the glider and is amazed to find a condor.
I'm just going to be tempted into the front where this condor is. Yeah, nice and smooth. Do you know, these birds really know what they're doing, don't they?
This is her first opportunity to fly with a condor. But will the bird allow her to fly closer? For one intoxicating moment, she circles with the condor. But then she starts to drop. Once again, the thermals aren't cooperating. There's one crucial thing a condor can do that Judy can't. Flap its wings and leave Judy behind. Now, the only way is down. This flight is a painful failure. But at least Judy's proven that it's possible to get close to condors. With few condors and no lift, this location isn't working. With just 10 days left, she'll have to try somewhere else. There's only one option, to head deep into the Andes, to a place where Lorenzo knows there are more condors. Their destination, the most imposing mountain in the area, Mount Tronador. More than 200 condors are known to live there. But to reach them, the team will first have to climb high up onto the mountain. Flying here would be tough, even without a broken wrist. Judy's flying skills will be tested as never before. Here the wind will be stronger and will come from every direction. At 3,700 meters, Tronador is high enough to be capped by glaciers. The temperature difference between the cold ice and the sun-drenched cliffs is huge, creating powerful updrafts. Tronador is one of the most difficult, challenging places to fly in. The winds can be ballistic, and the terrain is treacherous for landing.
Good draft coming up here, Lorenzo.
It's a gale coming up here.
I can see one place where I don't want to land.
Look at that one breaking.
Oh, it's got, it's breaking now. Tronador, look at that.
Listen to the noise of it now.
Mount Tronador is aptly named. In Spanish, it means thunder. The next morning brings a warm, clear day, with just a gentle breeze. One advantage of gliding is that you don't have to rise early. Both people and condors wait for the sun to start generating thermals. Judy is focused on the challenge ahead. She'll use a different kind of glider here, a paraglider. The terrain is just too steep and dangerous to land a hang glider.
The thing I'm concerned about is when you fly paragliders, they are essentially parachutes. And that means that if you hit turbulence, the paraglider can collapse.
The paraglider will also be easier on Judy's broken wrist.
I've got full strength in the fingers. I can pull and push with no problem at all. It's just twisting that's an issue. And I think probably the pulling up the lines will be painful.
Judy should wait for the condors, but with the winds picking up, she's eager to go. Today, the condors watch as she leads the way.
Good break.
So far, so good. If she's fortunate, the condors might join her. Minutes later, the winds change, and Chris's takeoff is much more hazardous. The two gliders sweep the sky for thermals. Chris edges perilously close to the cliff tops with no luck. And Judy too is experiencing that frustrating sinking feeling. The thermals aren't yet strong enough. Maybe that explains why the condors are still on the roost. As she approaches the ground, a gust of wind catches her out. She should have waited for the condors to take off first. Now she has a second injury, a broken foot. Just as she was coming into land, a gust slammed her into the rock face. Invisible low-level turbulence is one of the greatest risks in gliding. Flying with condors is proving more difficult than anyone ever expected. Even if the condors make it look easy. Judy's new injury is even more serious than the last one. Surely now she'll have to accept that her dream is over. With Judy out of action, Lorenzo takes Chris for a closer look at the condors. Up here, they can see the birds eye to eye. The condor really is the perfect glider. It has a superb combination of broad wings for lift, large primary feathers for fine control, and the uncanny ability to find the thermals at any time of the day. Lorenzo believes the Tronador is actually a Condor flying school. That the adults show younger birds how to maneuver through the strong air currents. Their black and white wings are certainly good markers for juveniles to follow. And indeed, most of the birds at Tronador are juveniles. An experienced condor must have a highly developed mental map of its home range and know where and when the thermals form in this vast landscape. Condors can live up to 50 years, building up a wealth of knowledge about their landscape.
Look at the speed at which he's down there to land.
The birds are an inspiration. But will they ever manage to fly with them? It's the final day of the expedition, and Judy's foot is still seriously swollen.
My foot is a rather strange shape this morning. So the next bit's going to be rather entertaining. Try to insert it into this boot. This is very unwilling to go.
Her foot may not be in good shape, but the weather is perfect. The wind's light. It's too good a flying opportunity to pass by. The birds can sense it's a good day, stretching and warming up their wing muscles, preparing to fly. But will Judy be able to take off? It's touch and go. Lorenzo watches for a sign from the birds.
Now I can feel the air beginning to warm up. It's sort of coming up and it's quite warm against my face. So hopefully it'll be getting better now.
Judy must make her decision. The condors are already soaring. She decides to fly.
Going great.
And immediately catches a thermal. This is a day for flying with condors. And soon, the birds accept her as one of their own.
Hello, you beauty. Look at that. That is just stunning. I don't care where I end up. I'm having the time of my life. That is 10 meters. That is even closer than that. Look at that.
And this time, she even has a soft landing.
Oh, wasn't that wonderful? Oh, that was just fantastic.
It's taken 5 difficult weeks for Judy to achieve her dream.
My most overwhelming impression about flying with the Condors, learning from them, is just how much better they are at it than we are. I suppose they've had a lot more years of evolution than we have, but they are so good at it.
For me, condors are one of the most magnificent birds and really represent the utmost freedom. And I think if we lose them, we lose the essence of Patagonia.
For anybody who thinks condors aren't attractive, that they're just red-headed, bald-headed, ugly birds that eat carrion, I would say come to Mount Tronador, stand on this very rock at 10 o'clock in the morning and be convinced.
In the Andes, a local legend says that once the condor enters your life, it will never leave. To fly with condors is to live. Entering the condor's world has been a bruising and humbling experience for Judy, testing everything a champion glider pilot knows about flying. It's clear there's only one champion in these skies.